I know it's early, but hey, I have someplace I need to be. And it was either a pre-recorded message, me leaving, and I was like, I'm just gonna go short today. As John Corson would say, a postcard. Anyway, all right. Verse 27 of chapter 27 of the book of Acts. Now, when the 14th night had come, as we were driven up and down the Adriatic Sea, about midnight the sailors sensed that they were drawing near some land. They took soundings and found it to be 20 fathoms. And when it had gone a little farther, they took soundings again and found it to be 15 fathoms. Then, fearing lest we would run aground on the rocks, they dropped 4 anchors from the stern and prayed for day to come. As the sailors were seeking to escape from the ship, when they had let down the skiff into the sea under the pretense of putting out an anchors from the prow, Paul said to the centurion and soldiers, unless the men stay on the ship, you cannot be saved. Then the soldiers cut away the ropes off the skiff and let it fall. And as the day was about to dawn, Paul implored them to take food, saying, today is the 14th day you have waited and continued without food, and eaten nothing. Therefore I urge you to take nourishment, for this is your survival, since not a hair will fall from your head of any of you. And when he had said these things, he took bread and gave thanks to God in the presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. Then they were all encouraged, and also took food themselves. And in all we were about 276 persons on the ship. So when we had eaten enough, they lightened the ship and threw out the wheat into the sea. So, I'm cutting into real talk. Take that, Dallas. Yeah, I'm starting early today. So I wanted to do a shorter section, and we actually got like 11 verses done, which is like, 11 times further than I've done in the past sometimes. Everyone else is going to catch the rerun because they're all so sleepy right now. But here's the main takeaway today. I'm just making it short. I don't have time on everything, but we see what happens. But look down in verse 35 where it says, he gave thanks to God in the presence of them all. And when he had broken it, he began to eat. And then they were encouraged and took food for themselves. I want to talk about the history, but we just don't have time. But look at that, 276 persons on the ship. I mean, what size ship were you imagining? Can you imagine a ship with 276 people on it? Like, I think sometimes, maybe not you because you're more refined historically than I am, but sometimes I just don't imagine ships that big back then. 276 people, 4 anchors off the back, putting a anchor off the front. But here's the catch, guys. I see you, Teresa and Alejandra, Rick, Diane, all you people who are awake this early this morning. Paul, he gave thanks, and then he ate. And then everyone else was encouraged, and they ate too. This world needs desperately Christians to model their lives after. The world is watching you, not me. See, I'm a pastor. Everyone else thinks I'm just a weird eccentric. But you guys can represent normal Christianity. You're not a pastor. You're not you're not anything special. And that's like almost something to boast in, because it's easy to write off the pastor as, well, he's a pastor. I remember this is like this is 15 years ago. I never would have imagined being a pastor. And I remember being like at a friend's house to watch some NASCAR. People were putting back beers and talking, and I'm there. It had been a long time since I'd seen this friend, and we somehow religion came up, and I just like said a few things, and then I said a few other things, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Are you a priest?" I'm like, "No." But the thing was that obviously I was so different. He assumed I had to be some member of the clergy. And that's how you need to live, because he has made us a kingdom of priests. That's what we're all called to be. In the Old Testament, it was the job of the Levites and the sons of Aaron specifically, right, to do that ministering. But Jesus says that by his blood, he's purchased your life. Your life is not your own. If you are saved, you have 2 choices. One of the choices involves giving up your life because you were bought at a price, and that was the entry price into heaven's gates. And then there's an option B. So if you were bought at a price, then your life is not your own, and you're not supposed to live for yourself. You're supposed to live for him, and you were purchased to be his priest and priestess. That men and women are the ones that this world is going to be watching, and they're looking for someone to model what does godly living look like. And they're going to watch you, and they're going to do what you do. And if you are working in the field, not literally, el field, but I mean like, in the job, in the workforce, they're going to see what Christian workers look like. If you are a mother, they're going to want to know what godly mothering looks like. If you are stuck at home, they want to see the power of a prayer ministry, of someone who cannot leave their bed, like Corrie ten Boom in the last years of her life. She believed that she did more then than she ever did traveling and speaking about her time in the Holocaust and hiding the Jews in those last years in bed where she prayed. And that's the thing. The world is looking for examples so that they can be encouraged and do likewise. Paul, it's just a simple thing. He prayed, he broke bread, and he ate. And when the people of the ship saw that, they were encouraged. Maybe they said their own prayers. Maybe these unbelieving Romans thought, you know what? It can't hurt. I'm going to pray to the God of the Jews. I'm going to pray to their one God and ask him to bless this food, and I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to trust in that God for my salvation, because they knew their lives were on the line. And so the world is watching. They're watching you more than you think. And once again, you can't put it all on me or your pastor or some other person, because it's too easy for the unbelieving world to write off the pastor as a religious nut. But you, maybe it's a good thing that you're normal. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a this. I'm just a churchgoer. But this is what a churchgoer looks like. This is what Christianity is meant to look like. It's meant to look like you, and you are meant to look like you are meant to look. I pray that you're doing so. God bless you guys. Sorry for everyone who tuned in late. Late meaning not half an hour or 40 minutes early. I'm off to breakfast with some guys. You guys have a blessed day. Take care.